Hey guys, today we're here in front of the shop, taking advantage of a little of our downtime while we're on lockdown, as you all know. So working on some projects, getting some things out of the way. Not sure you can see in the background there, but got the Cardins back on the bench. Got a new comp ARF we picked up that we'll be flying some IMAC with, and got the old Hangar 9 Decathlon out, and we're going to be doing some aero tow with this, hopefully. I've been talking to the guys up at Visalia, or trying to get a hold of the guys up at Visalia to see if we can go up there in October and do some aero tow. Changed out to a DA 100 from the 120 we had in it, and got it all hooked up, rigged up. Just had one thing I thought we could go over that we haven't done yet on the channel, and that was muffler installation. So for our muffler installation, it's pretty straightforward. We've got our normal M5 bolts. We've got our driver for the M5 bolts. We've got the standard gasket that you can get from DA for this engine, for the 100. And then what I like to call the secret sauce is this Hondabond HT high temp. It's a gasket maker. Works really good. I learned about this years ago from another modeler, and it works really good for keeping the bolts from loosening up and also for sealing the gaps. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to install this muffler on the one. All right, so here we've got our muffler. As you can see, we got it all ready to go. What I like to do is make sure I have a nice clean surface. These mufflers were mounted before. They had some red RTV on them. I used a razor blade, single edge razor blade, to kind of scrape it off and get a nice clean flat surface. Doesn't have to be too perfect, but good to be fresh. These came back fresh from DA, ready to go. So you go ahead and I put the gasket on. Now if you don't have the gasket, one thing I have found is you can use the Hondabond as your gasket material. You can put it on there and just smear a nice thin coat like you would with RTV, and you're good to go. But we don't have that problem here. We have everything we need, so we're gonna go ahead and get it on. So what we'll do is put this on here now. I chose the wrong side, obviously. I say the wrong side, but I chose the difficult side for you guys because I've got the one where one of the mounting screws is inside the stack, so we got to use the long one. It's going to take a little light, but we'll get it worked out. So what I do in this case, when I do have the gasket, is I put a little bit of Hondabond. I just put a nice little dollop right on the opening for the bolt holes, or the bolts, I should say. Just like that. Doesn't take too much. Nice tip here is just squeeze up the RTV a little bit. You can see that, just so it has a nice sealed area in there when the cap goes on, and that'll be good for next time we need it. So then once I have my dollop in there and it's ready to go ahead and get my bolt worked through here, through the gasket, and we'll get her started. So we just place it here. That helps that we put it on the right way. There we go. Get our bolt in there. Get it started in there. By pulling up, I can tell it has been started. Then what I like to do for getting the one with the smokestack on is I get my cell phone out with flashlight, get a little light down in there. Come on. There we go. We're in there now. I may have missed it, so we'll try again here. There we go. You guys remember the game Dead Eye when we were in elementary school? We had to drop the clothespin into the bottle. Kind of like that. There we go. Got it good that time. Okay, so we'll go ahead and make sure we got it nice and straight. There we go. Now what I like to do is I like to get them both snugged down, not too tight, but just until I meet resistance, like that. And get the other one. That way we've got a nice even clamp between the front and the back, so we don't get a little loose on one end of the gasket, or a little relief on one. So then what I do to tighten, I don't have my torque wrench. I believe torque specs on these exhaust bolts is somewhere around 35 inch-pounds. I'd have to check or call DA. What I do is I get it till it's decently tight. This has a little bit of spring in it. This is a Bondus driver. And I just give it about a quarter turn like that. And I find that is plenty to keep it nice and tight for as long as we need. we go. Nice and tight. Turn. One last one there. All right. So we got that on and it's ready to go. So there you have it, guys. Got our mufflers mounted, ready to go now. This plane's almost ready to go. One thing I'd like to say and talk about in wrapping up is the reason I use Hondabond as opposed to like a red Loctite is this is not permanent. It's heat resistant. It'll keep in the heat of the exhaust. It's fine, but we don't have the problem when we go to take this plane apart. The bolts will not come out. You know, nothing more frustrating than going out for the first or second flight on a plane and having the muffler vibrate loose, and at best it's rattling around inside the cowl doing damage, and at worst it falls in the field, you never find it again. So having this little bit of extra insurance in there is definitely nice. So anyways, hope you guys picked something up from this. Be sure to check back. We got a whole lot of stuff. We're wrapping up projects, a lot of building. We're going to do some build videos on the Cardins, etc. So we're going to make good use of this time. Hope you guys are staying safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.